Hello, my name is Paul Jarvis, and I'm doing my student presentation on the task at hand, or the project at hand, which is to basically ask ourselves, if we were the economic advisor to the president of the United States, what would be our recommendation on the nation's both domestic and international economic policy. Make sure that you make our economic non-emotional arguments. Sometimes that's hard to do regarding economic policy, because we all have our opinions on certain things within the economy and the political climate. Read and gather that information concerning economic developments and economic trends, both current and prospective. Then analyze and interpret current economic developments and review programs and activities of the government. So this is a very loaded project, but we're going to dive into it here. And so the U.S. economy has faced several challenges over the years, ranging from recessions and financial crisis to external shocks such as the COVID-19 pandemic. And as the world's largest economy, the U.S. has an important role to play in driving global economic growth. To ensure sustained economic prosperity, policymakers and stakeholders need to implement policies and actions that help the U.S. economy thrive, such as policies that could include fiscal policies, monetary policies, infrastructure, investment, education, and workforce development, innovation and entrepreneurship, trade and globalization. And in this context, I want to discuss some of the policies and actions that would help the U.S. economy recover and grow sustainably with a focus on their potential benefits and challenges. So I'm going to dive right in here. The first thing I would recommend, if I was the economic advisor to the president, was invest in infrastructure. Investing in infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and public transportation can create jobs and stimulate economic growth. According to the American Society of Civil Engineers, the United States needs to invest $2.6 trillion in infrastructure by 2025. And investing in infrastructure can create jobs in construction and related industries, and also improve the productivity of the economy by reducing transportation costs and improving access to markets. Increase access to education and training. Education and training are critical for the development of a skilled workforce. The United States should invest in education and training programs that help workers develop the skills needed for not last century, not the century before, the 21st century, which is very different and has become very different in the last 5 years at least, especially during COVID. This could include programs to support apprenticeships, community college programs, and job training initiatives. Encourage entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are the key drivers of economic growth and job creation. The United States should encourage entrepreneurship by creating policies that support small business growth, such as tax incentives and access to the capital. The Small Business Administration should also be strengthened to provide more resources and support to entrepreneurs. Expand access to affordable housing. Affordable housing is essential for the well-being of families and the overall health of the economy. The United States should create policies that make housing more affordable, such as expanding tax incentives for developers who build affordable housing. That's the key word. Developers who build affordable housing, not non-affordable housing, because there is as such. Providing rental assistance to low-income families and increasing funding for public housing. Implement sustainable development goals. That's my favorite. The United States should implement sustainable development goals, which can create new jobs and spur economic growth. For example, the transition to renewable energy. I don't want to say that. Not transition. The addition of renewable energy sources, because I believe that the oil industry is something that is very lucrative and again creates a lot of jobs and basically has a lot to offer to the U.S. economy. So again, working hand in hand to incorporate renewable energy sources such as wind, solar power, can create, again, new jobs in the energy sector and reduce the country's dependence on foreign oil. Other sustainable development goals, such as reducing carbon emissions and promoting sustainable agriculture, can also create new economic opportunities. Improve access to healthcare. Promote international trade. International trade can create new economic opportunities and increase economic growth. The United States should pursue policies that promote international trade, such as negotiating new trade deals or new trade agreements and promoting exports. This can create new jobs in export industries and increase economic growth. Improve tax policy. Tax policy can have a significant impact on the economic growth. The United States should consider tax policies that promote economic growth, such as lowering corporate tax rates and simplifying the tax code. This can encourage businesses to invest in the United States and create new jobs. We have seen this within the last administration when the corporate tax rate was cut under the Trump administration, and it allowed companies to bring some of their factories back to the United States and reinvest in their home, basically, because these are American companies that have invested outside the United States because it's cheaper to find employees, cheaper to pay wages, it's cheaper the tax burden is cheaper and the such. So this is a very good tax policy that I agreed with, because again, the corporate climate is really what they provide a large workforce base to the U.S. economy. So they are vital to our workforce. And I'll get into small businesses as well, which I think is another vital part of our economy. I think that this next point is important as well. I think that the states do pretty good with it. It's strengthen social safety nets. I think that most states do a very good job with providing those social safety nets like food stamps, WIC, some housing options based on your income, cash assistance. A lot of states give cash assistance, which assists in providing for low-income families. Sometimes they'll even provide with middle of the line income families. But I think reassuring and strengthening those is vital to the U.S. economy. Excuse me. Invest in research and development. Research and development are critical for the development of new technologies and the growth of the economy. The United States should invest in research and development initiatives such as funding for the National Science Foundation and the National Institutes of Health. This can spur innovation and create new economic opportunities. So for my first point, investing in infrastructure can have significant positive impacts on the U.S. economy. Infrastructure refers to physical structures and systems that support economic activity, such as roads, bridges, airports, and public transportation. Firstly, investing in infrastructure creates jobs. Excuse me. Infrastructure projects require workers to design, construct, and maintain these structures. In short term, this can create jobs in construction and related industries. In the long run, infrastructure can stimulate economic growth by improving access to markets, reducing transportation costs, and increasing productivity. Excuse me, sorry. Secondly, investing in infrastructure can increase economic productivity. Modern and efficient infrastructure allows for faster and more reliable transportation of goods and people, reducing shipping costs and increasing access to new markets. This in turn can increase economic output and generate higher levels of economic growth. It can also make businesses more competitive in the global market, attracting new investment and creating new opportunities for growth. And thirdly, investing in infrastructure can create new investment. Yeah. Investors seek out stable and reliable infrastructure as part of their investment decisions, and by improving infrastructure, the U.S. can create new investment for both domestic and foreign sources. This can stimulate economic growth, create jobs, and improve the overall competitiveness of the U.S. economy. Fourthly, investing in infrastructure can improve the quality of life for citizens. Efficient and reliable infrastructure makes it easier for people to travel to work, school, and other activities, reducing commute times and increasing access to essential services. This can also increase the attractiveness of certain areas for businesses. So if a place is low in crime, high in competitiveness, high in health, high in education, all these things, it boosts the attractiveness of that area for that business. So overall, investing in infrastructure is essential for the long-term growth and competitiveness of the U.S. economy. Increasing access to education and training can have a significant positive impact on the U.S. economy. Education and training are critical for the development of a skilled workforce, which is essential for innovation, productivity, and economic growth. Firstly, education and training can improve the quality and productivity of the U.S. workforce, which advances in technology. With advances in technology and changes in the economy, it is important for workers to continuously update their skills and knowledge. By investing in education and training programs, workers can acquire new skills and competencies that are essential for their jobs. This in turn can increase productivity and efficiency, as well as encourage innovation and creativity. Secondly, education and training can attract new investment and industries to the U.S. Employers look for well-educated and skilled workers when deciding where to invest and establish operations. By increasing the level of education and training available to the workforce, the U.S. can attract new investment in industries, which can create new jobs and stimulate growth. Education and training can promote entrepreneurship and innovation. Education and training programs can provide aspiring entrepreneurs with the knowledge and skills necessary to start and grow successful businesses. This can stimulate innovation, increase competition, and create new economic opportunities. Education and training can reduce income inequality and poverty. Education is a key factor in determining an individual's earning potential. And by increasing access to the education and training, individuals can increase their earning potential and reduce the risk of poverty. This can also contribute to reducing some income inequality and promoting social mobility. Now, encouraging entrepreneurship can have significant positive impacts on the U.S. economy. Entrepreneurship refers to this process of starting and managing a new business venture, often with the aim of creating something innovative and unique. Entrepreneurship can create jobs. Small businesses are the biggest source of job creation in the United States, and by encouraging entrepreneurship, more jobs can be created, particularly in new and emerging industries. This can lead to lower unemployment rates and greater economic stability. Secondly, entrepreneurship can promote innovation. Entrepreneurs often seek to develop new products, services, or processes that are not currently available in the market. This can lead to new technologies and methods that can improve productivity, increase efficiency, and reduce costs. Innovation can also attract investment and stimulate economic growth. Entrepreneurship can increase competition. By creating new businesses, entrepreneurs can disrupt existing markets and challenge established companies. This can lead to greater competition, which can result in better products and services for you, the consumer, and lower prices and greater economic efficiency. Entrepreneurship can promote economic diversity. Entrepreneurship can lead to the creation of new industries and business models, which can promote economic diversity and reduce dependence on traditional industries. This can increase economic resilience and stability, particularly during times of economic uncertainty. Now, we're going to switch over to my point 4. Expanding access to healthcare can have significant positive impacts on the U.S. economy. Healthcare is an essential component of a healthy workforce, and by expanding access to healthcare, individuals can receive necessary medical care and stay healthy, which can have positive economic impacts. First, expanding access to healthcare can increase labor force participation. Individuals who are in good health are more likely to participate in the labor force, which can lead to greater productivity and economic growth. Expanding access to healthcare can help individuals manage chronic conditions and receive preventative care, which can reduce the risk of illness and improve overall health outcomes. Expanding access to healthcare can reduce healthcare costs in general. Individuals without access to healthcare often delay seeking medical care, leading to higher healthcare costs in the long term. By expanding access to healthcare, individuals can receive preventative care and early treatment for illnesses, reducing the need for emergency room visits and hospitalization. I think most states do a pretty good job at that. Most states provide a really good medical benefit for middle to lower class income families. So I think the states do a pretty good job at that, depending on the state you live. Some are better than others, but I think for overall, States do a pretty decent job at providing decent healthcare for middle to lower class families, income brackets. Point 5, implementing sustainable development goals can have significant positive impacts on the U.S. economy. They're called SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, are a set of global goals adopted by the United Nations, and they're there to promote sustainable development and address global challenges such as poverty, inequality, human rights, those type of things. Firstly, implementing these types of SDGs can promote economic growth. Sustainable development promotes resource efficiency, innovation, and new business opportunities, which can create new jobs and stimulate economic growth. Implementing these can also attract new investment in industries, particularly in the areas of renewable energy, sustainable transportation, and green infrastructure. SDGs can reduce costs and increase efficiency. Reduction of waste, which can reduce operating costs and increase efficiency for businesses. Implementing could also reduce healthcare costs and improve environmental conditions, which can lead to reduced rates of illness and disease. It can improve the social well-being. Sustainable development promotes social equality, human rights, and access to education, healthcare, and clean water. This can lead to improved quality of life for individuals and communities, which reduces poverty and inequality and increasing the social mobility or social stability. SDGs can promote international cooperation and diplomacy, my favorite, even for countries that we particularly don't get along with. They're a set of global framework for sustainable development, and by implementing them, the U.S. can demonstrate its commitment to global cooperation and diplomacy. This can promote positive relationships with other countries and support economic growth through international trade and investment. Overall, implementing these is essential for the long-term growth and competitiveness of the U.S. economy. By promoting economic growth, reducing costs, increasing efficiency, improving social well-being, and promoting international cooperation and diplomacy, implementing SDGs can have significant positive impacts on the economy and the lives of U.S. citizens. For a conclusion, boosting the U.S. economy is a complex challenge that requires a multifaceted approach. Various policies have been proposed and implemented over the years to stimulate economic growth, and their effectiveness varies depending on the prevailing economic conditions. One of the most effective ways to boost the U.S. economy is through fiscal policies such as tax cuts and increased government spending. Tax cuts can stimulate consumer spending and business investment, while government spending can create jobs and stimulate economic activity. However, policymakers must be careful to balance these policies to avoid increasing the federal deficit and/or debt. Another important policy to boost the economy is monetary policy. The Federal Reserve can use interest rate adjustments and other monetary tools to manage inflation, encourage investment, and stimulate economic growth. Additionally, regulations and reforms that encourage entrepreneurship and innovation can also boost economic growth by promoting competitive and increasing productivity. Infrastructure investment is also a vital policy area that can boost the U.S. economy. Investing in roads, bridges, airports, and other critical infrastructure can create jobs and increase economic activity while improving the country's competitiveness. There is no one-size-fits-all solution to boost the U.S. economy. Instead, a combination of those policies, whether they're physical, monetary, infrastructure investments, regulatory reforms, they can work together to create a favorable economic environment. It is essential for policymakers to prioritize policies and promote sustainable economic growth and to strike a balance between short-term stimulus and long-term economic stability. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got something from it. But that would be my suggestion, or how I would advise the president if I was his economic advisor. And I know it's not all black and white. There is some political climate things that go into that as well. So I would have to, the biggest thing I would have to say after I've given my presentation on the back burner, adding in the political party line thing, because I think it's important for people to understand not just the words or the verbiage of what can boost the U.S. economy or what can make the U.S. economy better. I think that people have to really understand that you have to understand the politics that are involved in it as well, because one day we may be in a position where we have to provide this type of real life political environment advice. And so I have to say that for me, I am more on the conservative side, which means that I believe in, and the real things that affect the economy or promote the economy is, yes, I believe in small spending of the government to boost these type of areas that get people generating money and or having that substituting the transfer payments and all that to get the economy moving. But also on the back burner, of the back side of that, or the left side of that, corporate tax cuts. I said before, the corporate landscape is one of, besides small businesses, is another large, vital, important part of the U.S. economy, and we have to make sure that we're supporting them the way that because they're providing the jobs, they're providing the products, they're providing that large portion to the U.S. economy. So I'm not on board with the tax the rich, tax the rich. I'm on board with, that's totally different idea. I'm on board with corporate tax incentives, which help build better business practices. It allows people to generate some type of income equality, so that we have a better diversification within the economy. So better monetary policy, better fiscal policy would be my largest largest piece of advice I would give to the current president if I was his advisor. Hope you took something from this, and thank you so much.